Joyfully, it is story time. For my SEM class, we have to create a story in where there was an obstacle where it turned out humorous. Mine is with my sister. The setting is at Cracker Barrel, and the problem was we were hungry but broke, no money at all. We all have times in our life when absolutely nothing is right. But through those times, no matter how bad, there is always a slice of humor. You just have to learn to see it and unzip it. Even though bad situations are not ideal situations, they actually have to happen to be able to see the best parts of the path that your footsteps are imprinted. The greatest teacher I've ever known are the hard lessons learned. They are also the most humorous points in my life personally. One of the hard times that I reflect on when I'm being unnecessarily pessimistic is when my sister and I were hungry, had no money, and were apparently losing our minds. It's late October, and my sister Sabanjale and I decided that we had to do something about the hunger pains that were screaming out at us very disrespectfully, pointing out that we needed to be fed. Delusionally, we decided to do something that we both normally would be totally against: dine and dash. We were scared. The thought and half thought the half thought out plan seemed foolproof until we walked in. Guilty. Me personally, I felt obvious. I just knew that everyone I made eye contact with read my each and every thought and knew I've only had about $1.56 to our name. I began to ask my sister, why Cracker Barrel? Of all places, the people were so nice, but old, and old is wise, and I've never been a good liar. Arguing quietly, we are seated, and my sister nudges me in a not so friendly way to shut up. I calmed down, and I realized I was more hungry than scared. We order, eating, talking, and laughing nervously. We came to the end of our meal, again striking a petty argument. Who was asking for the check? If the whole restaurant didn't know our plans through telepathy and the guilt that blazed through my pores, I knew for a fact we gave them the blueprint through our whispering and darting eyes. I asked for the check. I ended up asking for the check. She goes to pretend to stand in line out at the front. We are supposed to go outside and go separate directions, to meet in the middle to get our car. We lost the car. Needless to say, this was an epic sign of failure. Running around in circles, we realized the police coming into the parking lot. Almost simultaneously, we see the car. Running full speed to the car, the officer stops about a foot from our vehicle. We break down immediately. Crying, apologizing, and explaining ourselves. By the end of the ugliest set of tears ever seen, we were fortunately forgiven, and the manager paid our $34 tab. As we get in the car, we sit in silence, attempting to process what had just happened. After about 10 minutes, we looked at each other with tear-stained faces and we laughed hysterically, forming more tears, only this time it isn't tears of fear and guilt, but tears of relief and the realization we were officially amongst America's dumbest criminals. We vowed to not ever be in a position where we would be so out of character again. The moral of the story: proper planning prevents poor performance. Oh, and pay what you owe. That is the end of our story. Thank you for listening.